The Arabian Sea water that hits the shores of Ullal near Mangalore in Karnataka could tell you the history of Abbakka Rani, often referred as Abbakka Mahadevi, the very first woman in history to confront, fight, and repeatedly defeat the Portuguese. Rani Abbakka's unflagging bravery and fortitude are at par with legendary Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi, Rani Rudrama Devi of Wrangle, and Rani Chennamma of Kittur. Rani Abbakka was one of the earliest freedom fighters who revolted against the foreign invaders and colonialization. Yet, a little is mentioned about her or her extraordinary story in the history books. And I'm not surprised. Namaste everyone, welcome to another fascinating video from Brahmaj. Our topic of the day is Rani Abbakka Chowta. Let's find out who she is. Before that, if you're new to the channel, then please subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell icon. Okay, let's begin. The year was 1498. Since the 7th century, maritime trade, mostly in spices, textiles, and war horses, had flourished between the communities of India's western coast and Arabian Peninsula. With an eye on this lucrative trade, several European powers had been trying to discover the sea route to India. The Portuguese finally became the first Europeans to find the sea route to India when Vasco da Gama reached Calicut in 1498 after a long voyage. 5 years later, Portuguese built their first fort in Cochin. This was followed by the establishment of a ring of forts in the Indian Ocean region, in India, Muscat, Mozambique, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, even far as Macau in China. This, along with its superior naval technology, puts the control of all the spice routes to India into the hands of the Portuguese within 20 years of Vasco da Gama's historic voyage. For the whole of 16th century, Portuguese dominance in the region remained unchallenged by any other European power. The Dutch, the French, and the British reached India only at the start of the 17th century. Trading in the Indian Ocean, which had previously been a free trade zone for Indian, Arab, Persian, and African ships, now required a paid permit, that is, cartas, from the Portuguese. The naval superiority of the Portuguese meant that they invariably won against local rulers who rebelled. In 1526, the Portuguese captured the Mangalore port. Their next target was Ullal, a thriving port town that located between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. Ullal was the capital of the Chowta king, Thirumala Raya. As the Chowtas were the matrilineal dynasty, their king's heir was his young niece, Abbakka. The fiercely independent princess had been trained in sword fight, archery, cavalry, military strategy, diplomacy, and all other subjects of statecraft from a very young age. When Abbakka was crowned the Queen of Ullal, she was deeply aware of the threat posed by the Portuguese presence on the coast and equally determined to resist it with all she had. Before his death, Thirumala Raya had arranged a strategic marriage alliance for Abbakka with Lakshmanappa Bangaraja, the ruler of Mangalore. As the ruler of Ullal, Rani Abbakka continued to live in her own home even after marriage, and the couple's 3 children stayed with her. However, the marriage broke down when Bangaraja compromised with the Portuguese. With an eye on Ullal's trade that had flourished under Queen's able leadership, Portuguese had been trying to extract tributes and taxes from Rani Abbakka. Infuriated and frustrated at the unfair demands, she refused to agree to the Portuguese. Her ships continued to trade with the Arabs despite attacks by the Portuguese. From Mogaviras and Billava archers to Mapla ornaments, people of all caste and religion found a place in her army and navy. Infuriated by her boldness, the Portuguese began attacking Ullal repeatedly. The first battle took place in the year 1556, with the Portuguese fleet being commanded by the Admiral Don Alvaro de Silveira, and ended in an uneasy truce. 2 years later, the Portuguese attacked with a larger force and were able to ransack the settlement at Ullal to some extent. However, Rani Abbakka's battle tactics and diplomatic strategy, she collaborated with Arabs and Samudri of Kozhikode to push Portuguese back once again. But during the next battle, the Portuguese army under the general João Peixoto attacked Ullal and managed to capture the royal palace. However, Rani Abbakka escaped before they could capture her. Along with 200 loyal soldiers, she raided Portuguese in the dead of night and killed the general along with the 70 of his soldiers. Frightened by the ferocity of the attack, the remaining Portuguese troops fled to their ships. By this time, the Portuguese had become alarmed about Rani Abbakka's growing reputation inspiring other rulers. When repeated frontal attacks didn't work, they resorted to treachery. A series of laws were passed to make any alliance with the defiant queen is illegal. Her husband, Bengaraja of Mangalore, was also warned against sending any aid to Ullal under the threat of burning his capital. Yet, Rani Abbakka continued to dismiss the offers and threat by the Portuguese. The stunned Portuguese now decided to send Antony de Noura, the Portuguese viceroy of Goa, to attack Ullal. In 1581, 3,000 Portuguese troops, supported by an armada of battleships, attacked Ullal in a surprise pre-dawn attack. Rani Abbakka was returning from a visit to her family temple and was caught off guard. But she immediately mounted her horse and rode into the battle, leading her troops into a fierce counter-offensive. Her piercing battle cry, "Save the motherland, fight them on land and sea, fight them on the streets and the benches, push them back to the waters," echoed through the winds as she and her soldiers fired flaming arrows at the Portuguese ship. While many of the ships in the Portuguese armada burned that night, Rani Abbakka was wounded in the crossfire and was captured by the enemy with the help of a few bribed chiefs. Rebellious till the very end, the fearless queen breathed her last in captivity. However, her legacy lived on through her equally fierce and brave daughters, who continued to defend Tulunadu from Portuguese. A warrior queen who gave her life in defense of her freedom and motherland, Rani Abbakka remained a major thorn in the Portuguese side throughout her rule despite their superior military power. This itself speaks about her courage and ingenuity, yet her splendid story remained largely forgotten by history books. The good news is that the legendary queen of Ullal continues to live on in the folk culture in the Dakshin Kannada region. In the recent years, her story has been gradually coming to public attention. Dakshin Kannada has been holding an annual celebration in her memory, Veera Rani Abbakka Utsava, for the last few years. That's all I have for today. If you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe. I'll come back with a new video soon. Till then, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Vande Mataram.